Hey guys, I'm David.
And I'm Steve.
Welcome to Locklab, and we got a lot of questions of people asking, what do we think of scalp micropigmentation? So we're just gonna give our personal views. I've had scalp micropigmentation done to me personally. I don't think Steve has ever.
Not yet.
But you see a lot of guys who use it, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of guys who've used it as well, and so I've kind of developed a certain taste for it, or experience or viewpoint on scalp micropigmentation, what it's good for, what it's probably not good for, and so this is just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of scalp. I'm a huge fan of SMP, scalp micropigmentation. Why is that? It's all about contrast of the scalp and the hair. The scalp normally is a lighter color, and if you have any kind of darker tint to your hair, you're gonna see that scalp through. So I'm talking about the crown area or the mid scalp, I'm not talking about the hairline, and I just think that I believe in this 100%. I love using this on patients. It's actually, in my opinion, David, worth a hair transplant. When I say that, it's we're all chasing density. We want our hair to be as thick as it was before we lost our hair. That's not necessarily gonna happen, but yet we can create that illusion of that happening, and we can do it better if we're able to use SMP.
My friend Jay International actually got scalp micropigmentation done recently, and it definitely made a huge positive difference in his hair. That said, Jay has already had many hair transplants and had quite a good bit of hair already on the top of his head, covering pretty homogeneously. So when you added the scalp micropigmentation to that, it just was kind of like you said, almost like another hair transplant all over the top of his head. Now my thoughts on scalp micropigmentation when I don't think that it's good, and unfortunately it seems to be advertised this way a lot, and I've yet to see in person where this actually looked good, and that's on these completely bald guys, especially bald guys with lighter color skin, and they just use the scalp micropigmentation to sort of like tattoo their version of hair on there. Now I've seen online a lot of pictures of this where it looks really good, but these are photos where they're in certain lighting.
Olive skin.
Yeah, even with a lighter skin. Like I see photos online where it looks pretty good, but I've never in person yet seen that.
The only ones that I have seen, in my opinion, successful, is there like a European guy that may have like either a really good tan,
like a darker skinned guy.
Yeah.
And even then I've seen some really bad ones though too.
Well, I mean, I guess
where they're totally like a shaved head.
Well, that's right. And that's why I never endorse it for that. Because even those guys, the problem I have with that is, and I'm not saying this applies to everyone, but they might like it for 6 months or a year, but then if they stop taking that medication, then they have no other options. So that whole shaved head, like I look like I've shaved my head, but I'm really bald and I've got SMP. If you've got hair through the center core, even left in the hairline and in the crown, you gotta stay on the medication because your taste may change. You might want more styling options at some point. So there's nothing wrong with having the SMP done underneath the hair transplants, as long as it's far enough back where it's not directly on the hairline, because that kind of looks kind of fake.
Yep. To me, the best way to use SMP is in combination with a hair transplant. That just seems to be uniformly where I've actually seen it look good, and that's obviously what I did with myself as well. But I haven't seen it like in person where people got it done really well, and it was like on a totally bald, shaved head. And especially the lighter color your skin is, the more chance it's gonna not look real and look fake and kind of weird.
I agree 100%.